Welcome to Moments with Marianne. This is your host, Marianne Pastana. And we're here today with special guest, Monil Kothari, who's here to share with us House of Brilliance jewelry. What if the future of fine jewelry isn't just about sparkle, but about access, innovation, and redefining who luxury is really for? Well, today's guest is here to share with us just that. Monil Kothari is the founder and CEO of House of Brilliance, a New York City-based fine jewelry brand rooted in the belief that luxury should be accessible to all. With over 13 years of experience, including early training in India and more than a decade leading operations in New York, Monil brings a global perspective and a deep industry insight to his work. Since launching the brand, he has grown House of Brilliance from a family-rooted business into a major player in modern jewelry retail, with products available through Amazon, QVC, Kohl's, Belk, First Dibs, and the brand's own e-commerce site. Known for its focus on quality, trend-driven designs, and fast delivery, the company continues to expand under Monil's leadership, delivering fine jewelry at value-driven prices to meet the needs of today's consumer. So welcome to the show, Monil Kothari.
Thank you, Marianne. I really appreciate being here today.
What an honor it is to have you here and to talk about House of Brilliance. I'd like to first dive into your family history. I find it so fascinating.
Sure. So I'm technically a third generation jeweler, and our family history or business history dates back to the late 50s in India. So around the 1940s and 50s in India, as India started opening up and becoming a part of the global economy, a lot of diamond production moved to India, and it moved very uniquely to one town in India in the state of Gujarat. It's originally where it started, and of course now it's a much bigger industry, but it started in the town of Palanpur in Gujarat. And my grandfather was one of the first sort of cohort of diamond manufacturers. So he simply would purchase rough, and back then it was rough diamonds, excuse me, and it was a cottage industry. He'd work with people to polish them and then sell the polished goods, the loose diamonds, which, eventually downstream end up in the jewelry that is purchased by end customers. And so he was doing this for many, many years, and his travel and work experience led him to go to Belgium, another hub of diamond manufacturing, and the US. My father joined the business in the 70s. I think he started as early as 16, sorting the diamonds, what you see in the movies where people are using that little loop and the tweezers and sorting through the goods. And eventually they got to a point where they had an opportunity here in the United States, and they moved to the East Coast in the late 80s. I was born around then in New Jersey. And around the 90s is when my family entered the jewelry business. And at one point, around the late 90s, early 2000s, we were one of the biggest vendors of fine jewelry in the United States. We were especially strong in diamond tennis bracelets. We worked with all the large retailers, everyone from back then Service Merchandise, which was really one of the largest department stores, to Sears, Zales, Walmart, many, many other companies, many of whom unfortunately are no longer in business because a lot changed after that. 2007 was a sort of watershed moment for our industry. There was the financial crisis, and sort of everything was in disarray. And by the time I joined in 2014, our business was much smaller, and not seeing that many opportunities, my dad pushed me to look online. And what started as almost like a distraction for me, because I was just doing PowerPoint presentations for the first 6 months, we ended up taking this into a full-fledged e-commerce business under House of Brilliance, and which is what has led me to today's call with you, Marianne.
Well, I'm so excited that you're here to talk about your beautiful jewelry, and thank you for sharing your family's history. I'm sure that many of us have been purchasing jewelry from your business without even knowing it. How has your family history helped shape your design perspective today?
I think that history has helped in multiple ways. One, at our core, our industry is still very small and somewhat insular, and relationships go a very long way here. So both my father and uncle got me the opportunity to train in some of the best factories in India when I first joined the business. So I moved to India for 18 months and I learned everything from diamond assortment, color grading, and jewelry manufacturing. So I had a foundation when I got here. And then more recently, their experience and in the industry has resulted in two other opportunities. For one, is we have customers that are more likely to work with us because of our storied history. Some of the customers who we do the e-commerce business with today, we were connected to because of my dad's relationships with them earlier on. And we've expanded a lot of our products. So, kind of talking to your design question. Primarily, we're a diamond fashion house. So, we are very strong in diamond fashion, tennis bracelets, earrings, hoops. But today's customer wants more. In House of Brilliance, our whole motto is something for everyone. And so, because of our relationships in the industry and the fantastic reputation my father, my uncle, and grandfather have built up over the years, we have a lot of, I guess, vendor partners who want to work with us to help push our brand forward by bringing us merchandise that we typically wouldn't have access to. My favorite example is brooches. I mean, I never thought brooches would sell till 2 years ago when one of my father's relations offered brooches. And within a year, brooches were the fastest selling category for us. So, again, going back to your question, I think design is one element, but it's our industry is so small. Your name really matters. And if you have a good name, it opens the door for robust partnerships.
Well, House of Brilliance is really on the leading edge of design, fashion, and having jewelry for everyone. Is this what sets your business apart from other businesses?
I think so. What I think, and this is the part that is so cool, and every day I'm still like in surprise when we get these orders, is by us bringing as many products to light online, we are giving customers almost anything they could possibly want. When you go to smaller sites, they're very curated capsule collections. And when you go to much larger retailers, they're very rigid in what product they will put online. And I think what we're carving out is this space for consumers to come and almost never be disappointed because there's always something for them. And a lot of this has been built off, again, the relationships that our family has developed over the years. And on top of that, we work with a lot of retail partners. For example, a QVC is a great example. By partnering with them, we're also giving their audience access to products that they wouldn't be able to find in their, local mom and pop shop or their sort of big box retail store. So I think that is the unique part. It's not, the brooch thing is a great example, and I'm not saying we have 1,000 brooches, but it underscores that online, when you're not limited by shelf space, as long as you have one item that somewhere in this world someone is looking for, that's like a beautiful arrangement.
You're definitely on the leading edge of fashion and statement pieces. I've been looking at the rings and it has me kind of thinking, how has this digital presence that you've developed really helped move the business forward?
I think there's always been a white space online with merchandise. I think what you've traditionally seen is people just putting out more of the same in diamond studs, diamond tennis necklaces, diamond tennis bracelets. A lot of the bread and butter, because that's proven and it's less of a risk. Our industry, again, is a little bit more traditional and risk averse. So it doesn't make sense for someone to just create a bunch of statement pieces on the hopes of selling online. E-commerce is very difficult, more so than now. The barriers to entry are also so low. So I think on one hand, a lot of what you see online is really more of the same. And on the other hand, a lot of the statement pieces, to your point, those are carried by the sort of famous houses, a Tiffany, a Cartier, a Van Cleef Arpels, and they have stunning pieces, gorgeous pieces, such storytelling. But a lot of that is not accessible to mainstream America. And so for us, what we're doing is sort of hitting that middle spot that neither one of those sides has touched. We're putting everything out there, including unique pieces. But I'm no Tiffany's and I'm no LVMH, so I'm never going to charge those prices. So we're also bringing these statement pieces at accessible price points. And I think that's where we've really found our groove, is by not just focusing on the bread and butter and also providing value driven pricing, even for our unique pieces, because we want our products to be accessible to everyone.
Well, you're definitely doing that. I mean, going through your website, rings, necklaces, I mean, you name it, you have prices that are really on pretty much every scale. What are some of the most best sellers or pieces that only the ultra rich can afford?
So I'm gonna spotlight one item right now that's very relevant because Father's Day is coming. We have this very unique bracelet. It's a 12 karat diamond tennis bracelet in 14K white gold. What's unique is that the diamonds are these princess cut diamonds, all natural, and they're invisible hand set. So basically, it means after the piece has been casted, each princess cut diamond has been hand set and it's invisible set. So it's basically a grid of these square diamonds. And because they're all tightly packed together, it gives this look of a much larger diamond. And this bracelet is so luxurious and so magnificent. Any man would be fortunate to have this on their wrist. So right now, this is the item we've been pushing with Father's Day right around the corner. So I really very much love that piece. I have this. It's very cool. It's another bracelet. It's an 18K white gold, and it's 20 carats of black and white diamonds. But the diamonds are everywhere. It's not just the front-facing surface. Every square millimeter of this bracelet, on the inside, the top, the full surface, is pave set with these diamonds. So you get this gorgeous diamond look that there's no metal showing, so it's all full sparkle. So I'd say those two right now are some of my favorite like statement pieces. But again, we've also priced them. I mean, they are expensive, but if they were at any other sort of high-end retailer or brand, they'd be double or triple the price. So even at a high price point, we still think our pricing is accessible on these items.
Oh, they definitely are. Can you touch on maybe a couple of items that are priced for maybe people who are not the ultra rich?
I would say right now, the biggest category that is selling for us is the lab grown diamond space. I mean, this has been the hot topic for over 5 or 6 years. What that has allowed is for people, especially since gold right now has been on a crazy upsurge. I mean, I think gold broke historical pricing just a few weeks ago at $3,500 an ounce. When gold goes up, the price of gold goes up, it's harder for people to purchase bigger pieces, especially when they have diamonds. But because of lab grown diamonds, we have products that are now more accessible than they would have been in the past because lab grown pricing has been dropping every year. I think right now where we're seeing a big surge is in 2 and 3 carat diamond studs and 14 karat gold. We're seeing a surge in tennis bracelets that are between 4 and 6 carat in lab grown. Those are moving left and right. And then we're starting to see a little bit more fashion forward items in lab grown moving. So we have a couple in sterling silver. These are like sub $200. Beautiful pieces. The diamonds sparkle. They look like the best diamonds ever. So when you're wearing it, it looks like you're wearing something that is, in the thousands and tens of thousands of dollars. But the truth is, pricing is way more accessible than that. So I'd say lab grown is the big section right now. And then second to that is color stone. We've expanded there a lot more the past couple of years. And so these are anything from rubies, emeralds, sapphires, tanzanite. Today we just sold pink tourmaline studs. This is again a big look for value, and I think this is another category that is underserved online, and we carry a lot of color stone product.
And we've talked about the positives of lab created diamonds. Are there any things that we should be cautious about with them?
Yeah, I think biggest issue our industry has made, and this is dates back more to the 80s, 90s, is that fine jewelry is an investment, almost like a financial investment. I think that's disingenuous. And so I think when we deal with natural diamonds, we strive our hardest not to push this as a financial investment. It's an investment in a relationship, it's an investment in you, but it's not a financial investment. So the same thing for lab grown diamonds. One thing to be mindful of as a customer is think of this as a purchase. Don't think of it as an investment. Know that the value of the lab grown diamond is going to continue to decrease over time. That doesn't diminish the item itself because you're presumably using this to express your love for someone or to celebrate a moment. So I always caution customers don't look too much into like the future value of your product and more so with lab grown diamonds.
Such good advice. Well, I understand the system for grading is very rigid and that you created a distinctive collection of unique jewelry. I'd love to hear about that.
That would be more of our unique one of a kind pieces. So brooches are again a great example. We have an animal brooch collection. So there's a giraffe, there's a Scottish terrier. We have a bunch of bumblebees. And weirdly enough, we actually sold a bumblebee brooch just a month and a half ago to in a marketplace in Canada. So I think the animal brooches are really some of the more novelty pieces. And novelty doesn't necessarily mean a low price point item. It's more novelty in that it's so unique that no store is going to carry it because it's so niche. But when you bring it online, again, you just need that one person who loves bees to find our brooches on either our site or our partner sites and purchase it. So I think that's the stuff that I really love curating are the unique one of a kind pieces.
Oh, and bees are such a hot item. I'm sure you have people loving that collection.
I am surprised every time someone buys a bee and or animal brooch, but I love it. I think it underscores our mission here, which is as long as we do our job of bringing everything online, we're serving the customer who's looking for these items.
What do you think the jewelry trends will be for this coming fall?
Some of the things that the data has been showing me is people are moving away from minimalism, which is weird because especially with the price of gold being so high, bigger pieces just tend to cost more, but we're seeing a drop in minimalist, like very sort of simple pieces, and we're seeing people go for bigger, bolder pieces because I think the past, 5 to 7 years, a lot of emphasis has been put on minimalism, quiet luxury. But just like any trend, things cycle in and out. And so what we've been seeing is bigger, bolder pieces selling. And I think that trend is going to continue. And I don't think it ever really left for the most part. I think humans always want something big and shiny to really stand out. So I think that trend is coming back up. And I think it's going to have staying power. And again, lab grown diamonds, at least in that subset of diamond jewelry, make that easier, make that more possible. You can get big diamond looks for a fraction of the price that it used to cost when it was only available in natural. So yeah, big and bold is what we're betting on.
For those that are looking for engagement rings, what would you suggest?
Engagement rings are so personal. I would say it depends on where you are in life and what you're looking to invest in that. I'm not a believer in that 3 month salary rule. I think that, again, is disingenuous. You should spend what you are able to spend. And so for us, we have a collection called Essential Vows on our site. And these are all bridal products that are accessibly priced because we want people to show their love through jewelry, which is so meaningful. So I would say start with our essential vows. Then we also have more of our unique, like one of a kind bridal rings. And these stray away more from the sort of classic four prong solitaire looks or the single halo. And I think our unique bridals tend to have more materials, bigger looks, more gold, big diamond looks. I think these are really fun and go a long way to showing your commitment to someone. So those are the two areas where I'd recommend people to look into. And then what we're really building out is our lab grown bridal collection. So you're starting to see big like diamond looks, but again, at more accessible price points.
What type of sourcing process do you have for the collections that you develop?
It's a multi-pronged strategy. So I work very closely with my father and uncle, and they work with their manufacturing partners in India. So a lot of the diamond product that we bring in is sort of designed around what's trending, what retailers are looking for. My dad has over 40 years of merchandising experience, so he takes what he has. What he's noticed in the past 2 years, a lot of the older styles from the 90s are starting to come back. So he'll work with the factories and we constantly have this pipeline of product development. So that's one element of it. We also work with a lot of partners here in the Diamond District itself. And what we'll do is assess what their strength is. So for example, we have a pearl vendor. We'll work with them specifically on pearl product. They're able to bring the best product, the best pricing, because that's their expertise. Same thing with the color stone. Same thing with lab grown diamonds. So here in the US, we try to find companies that are really strong at one thing and have them support that assortment on our portfolio of products. And that way, we're always bringing new stuff to site. We currently have a queue of over 1,000 items that should go live between now and the summer. We're bringing around 50 styles a month. I think we just launched another 10 items last week. So this sort of strategy allows us to constantly feed customer demand by always having something new on our site or on our partner sites.
Well, I've been browsing your new collection and it's stunning. There's so much there that I was like, I've got to have these. These emeralds are looking great with these diamonds.
Mhm.
I mean, you definitely have House of Brilliance definitely has some just amazing jewelry. Where can our listeners go to learn more about the jewelry that you have and to place an order?
I mean, they can come straight to our website, which is House of Brilliance, HAUS.com. You can follow us on all the socials. And I actually made a special coupon code for your audience for 20% off, especially with Father's Day right around the corner. They can use code MOMENTS20 for 20% off. And this is just for your audience. It's specific for them. And it's a little thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak with you today.
Oh my goodness, what a great gift that is. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show with us here today.
And again, thank you so much for having me and letting me share my story.
Well, thank you, Monil. It's been such an honor to spend this time with you and to talk about House of Brilliance jewelry. Make sure to go to houseofbrilliance.com and use Moments20 for your 20% discount on your order. Well, we're at the end of our time today. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. You've been listening to Moments with Marianne, where we make every moment count.
In a single moment, your life can change. Moments with Marianne is a transformative hour that covers an endless array of topics with the best of the best. Her guests are leaders in their fields, ranging from inspirational authors, top industry leaders, and business and spiritual entrepreneurs. Each guest is gifted and a true visionary, a recognized leader in her own work, and while teaching others to develop, refocus, and grow, Marianne will bring the best guest and sometimes a special surprise. Don't miss this. You never know just which moment will change your life forever. Make sure to tune in and visit momentswithmarianne.com for more information.